When you have people registering for your events, one of the most important places for that data to end up is, of course, your marketing automation system. With the integration between Goldcast and HubSpot, it's really easy to create dynamic lists of who's registered, who's attended, or who's had any other types of very specific types of interactions with your events. Let's take a look at how to set that up. So, of course, this video is going to presume that you've already set up the integration between Goldcast and HubSpot for the timeline activities. If you haven't done that, there's other videos and there's documentation on how to do that, but certainly a prerequisite here. In this case, we're already logged into Goldcast. We're going to go to a given event, and we're going to check to make sure that our integration is enabled. So for HubSpot, we'll click on Connected Apps, and we can see that this is enabled, and we can see all of the different activity types that have been enabled specifically for this event. If you create a new event and the integration has already been turned on, this will be enabled by default. Now that we're all set here, let's actually go into the registration section and register somebody new. Okay, so we're going to register our person here, Sterling, manually. Obviously, if somebody gets registered via a webhook or registered via a bulk upload, or of course using our landing pages, it all works the same. They are still going to trigger a message over to HubSpot that they should be created as a contact and that they should have this type of timeline activity associated with them. Now, the sync can take up to about 5 minutes to make that happen. So we sync every 5 minutes, and so depending on when you get to, when that name comes in, it might take that long for it to appear in HubSpot. So we might do a quick cut here and then see where we end up on the other side. Okay, so we have fast forwarded a few minutes, and we can see here in HubSpot that our Sterling Archer has been created as a contact. And if we go ahead onto him, you can actually see that Sterling Archer was registered for this particular event, and we can actually see all the details that we collected about that specific person. So if your registration form collected things like job title and company, then of course those would be there as well. So that's good enough on its own, but obviously the most important thing we'd want to do here is say, I want a list of everybody who is signed up for, in this case, my August high-powered networking event. So what we do is go to the list section here in HubSpot and create a new list, high-powered August networking event registrants. And we're going to use an active list rather than a static list. By using an active list, this allows us to not only use all the properties that of course exist in HubSpot natively, but because we actually installed that connector, we have all of these other dimensions that we can use from Goldcast to create our lists as well. So I'm going to go ahead and use the event registration. And then within that, you have a lot of different options here. You can of course use the event title. But in this case, I'm going to actually use the event ID. I feel like that's the most consistent, easiest way to make sure you're getting exactly what you want. You can get the event ID from a number of places. Probably the easiest place is just right out of the URL in Goldcast. Right here. So there's that event ID. There's other places in the app you can get it as well, but it's kind of the fastest way. So if the event ID is equal to this, then that's it. We go ahead and save our list. And you'll see everybody who has signed up for this particular event, whether they were imported or signed up manually or came in through the registration page or any other way, they will be on this list, and that'll stay up to date within 5 minutes of each other in perpetuity. You can create the same types of lists for people who have attended or who have downloaded a particular asset or attended a particular broadcast within your Goldcast event. All of these things work exactly the same way. So that's it. With this integration, you're able to create active views directly in HubSpot based on what your event registrants are doing live in Goldcast, synced within about 5 minutes. Thanks so much for watching this. If you have more questions, there's a lot more videos available here, as well as a lot more resources on docs.goldcast.io about how this and the entire product works. And if you have more questions than that, reach out to us. You can always find us at goldcast.io. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.